Good.
Patrick, I've got to come back there and get one more thing as soon as we start, in case if he sends it to me first. Make sure that's muted, Patrick. Number 9. Number 9. Okay. And a good Saturday morning. Welcome to another edition of the Saturday Morning Merry-Go-Round. It's a pleasure to be your host again for this week's program, Jeannie Lowry. Thank you so much, Percy, for getting what I needed to get from the back so we could go on the air on time. And right now, I am so excited. Some folks who do know a lot about old-time music will recognize the name of Charlie Poole, or just the precursor to bluegrass. You don't even have to say old-time. They used to call it country music. Remember that? When it used to be country music? But Charlie Poole would have been 130? Is that right? So last week was the 130th anniversary of the birth of Charlie Poole. So I am so pleased to make welcome for part 1 of today's Merry-Go-Round, the Twin County Ramblers. They do a lot of Charlie Poole style music. And so without further ado, let's get things started on this edition of the Saturday Morning Merry-Go-Round. Welcome, everybody.
It's Charlie's birthday. He's been 130 years old. He's probably been here today if he could have, but he's had a previous engagement for the last 91 years. He kind of passed away in 1931, so he's been doing what he's doing. But anyway, let's get a little bit of Sweet Sunny South. How about that? Well, we had a request for him to come up there that he won't play anyway. And Jenny says she wants to take a drink on me. Here it is. Let me hook his string over there. It might be the one that's in too. Well, what did you do with the dollar you had? Get around and shut you bad. Oh, Lord, honey, take a drink on me. Take a drink on me, drink on me. Oh, you mind, take a drink on me. Oh, Lord, honey, take a drink on me.
Buttermilk.
Yeah, whatever.
So they don't have to mean something ugly about take a drink on me. That is music in the style of the late Charlie Poole, and I'm going to do this because if we don't, folks won't know. Charlie Poole was born way on back, like we said. What was the year?
1892.
1892 in Randolph County. Have I got it right? Yeah. In the town of Spray, which is not even there anymore. Franklinville. It's now known as kind of the Eden area. Have I got it right? When
Well,
I get something wrong?
he moved to Spray.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's where he was living when he died. He went there, worked in the mill, and he run up on the married Posey Royal's sister. Then him and Posey got together, and they got around to all the people that were playing music in the area. And him and Posey got together with Norman Woodley, Norman's brother, and I can't remember the name because it's getting old. Anyway, we got with them and started playing, and they went to New York in 1925 and recorded the first time. And then there was several personnel changes, but he played, 6 years. He had a career about 6 years long. And he did it opposite from the way they do now. Now they'll produce an album, and then they'll promote it by going around. Well, they traveled around and promoted it before they ever recorded it, so that there was already a market for the records. And so they sold a lot of records. And like Jeannie said, they were the Kid Tanner and the Skillet Lickers and Charlie Poole were the two #1 acts in old-time music, hillbilly music, country music, whatever they wanted to call it back in. I think they called it more hillbilly than they did anything else, but more what Charlie and them played was a little bit more Tin Pan Alley stuff, and the Skillet Lickers played more old-time stuff, old square dance tunes and stuff. Here in old westerns when you see them dancing and stuff.
And also, what is one of the things that I think that people, if they don't know and they don't study about traditional music, the reason Charlie had such a different banjo style is because of the way that he played more of a finger style way because he'd had an accident.
Yeah, he bet some boys that he could catch a baseball bare hand, and he caught it, but he broke his finger, and he left it in a permanent, like pitching a knuckleball or something, you know. So he broke his finger, so he kind of picked, and it just gave him a natural, what do you call it? It just gave him a natural grip for playing the banjo in the free finger style.
Well, go ahead and do another tune in the style of Charlie Poole, if you don't mind.
Well, she promised she would be free when the clock was 23. Down that stockyard about a mile and a half away, where big feet and all get that 90 cents up now. That face comes on big flavor cane. She's my Daisy, black-eyed crazy, prettiest gal I think I ever saw. But her breath, it smells sweet, I never smell her feet. She's my black face comes on big flavor cane. I'm the man who rode a mule around the world. I'm the man who rode a mule around the world. Well, I rode in old Lord, I'm happy as a Lord. Man rode a mule around the world. With a man who says it isn't so. I'm the man who rode a mule around the world. I'm the man who rode a mule around the world. Well, I rode in the Ozark, I'm happy as a lark. Man rode a mule around the world.
WPAQ radio station for a word from our sponsor. This portion of today's program, that's Price Power Equipment in Elkin, North Carolina, and we'll be back with more music right after this. Thank you so much, Kelly, and welcome everybody watching on our YouTube stream. Hey, out there in YouTube land, I guess you call it, I'm not sure. And also, welcome to the folks listening in on the AM dial. That's how I like to listen to WPAQ at 7:40 a.m. And also our great FM frequency 106.7, as well as folks listening in on the internet. I had a call when I was on the air last week from a guy up in Vancouver, Canada. And he was listening in and said, I always watch the merry-go-round on YouTube, so thanks, and hope you're tuning in today. Let's do about 3 more songs before we take another break. That be all right?
All right. Let's do a little bit of Let It Roll. How about that? Let me do. Little sweetheart, we have parted from each other, we must go. Many miles may separate us from this world of heaven, but I treasure up the promise that you made me in the land. When you said we'd be together, when the roses bloom again. For now this parting brings us sorrow. Oh, it almost breaks my heart. Tell me, darling, will you love me when we meet no more to part? Down among the budded roses, I am nothing but a sin. I have parted from my darling, never more to meet again. Will this parting be forever? Will there be no coming day when our hearts be united and all our troubles pass away? Darling, meet me up in heaven. That is my true and earnest prayer. For if you love me here on earth, dear, I'm sure that you will love me there one more. How about a little bit of a ragtime act? Ragtime act. We put this trigger on it. The handle broke off, so I can't wind it up. It won't play itself. It won't play itself no more. I think I need a new nigger too. Ain't no use tuning that thing. Ain't nobody knows it's tuned. Rag time out.
Great job from our special guests, the Twin County Ramblers, here on the Saturday morning merry-go-round. Kelly, go ahead and give us a break for just a minute. We need to change out a chord real quick here, and it might take us about 2 minutes. So maybe some community news, or you might have something you want to add about Charlie Poole. And we'll be back with more music coming up on the Saturday morning merry-go-round right after this.
Yesterday to get something to eat and it's already closed. Yep. I saw that.
I've been there for 3 years. I still haven't eaten there yet.
I wonder why they don't wait till at least 2:30 with all the tourists, you know.
For all day, too.
Yeah, I guess they make plenty of money.
Yeah, they open something like 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. I'm hoping I go in there and see Ernest T sitting at the counter.
Sit 8, 2, 4, 6. Oh, no. Okay. Now try. Did you get it that time? Good, okay. Now forget which one that is, and it'll get right back where it was, so.
Tied a knot in it.
You tied a knot in it? Okay. Do I have permission to throw it away?
What's her name again?
Okay, thank you.
I told Tommy that that's the weekend, that refuse that comes down and works the flowers on the grave. We'll get together, but I want to talk to you first, see what you want to do. You think Rick will still come down, you think he'll do it?
Thank you so much, Kelly Epperson, and we had a bad cord. Thank you so much for giving us a little bit of extra time there. So right now, let's go back to more great old-time music from the Twin County Ramblers. What you got picked out for us next?
Well, I guess we might as well do the one that started the Great Bootleg Panic in 1926. One Charlie did called Goodbye Boo. Forevermore, moving days.
as y'all was playing that, I was thinking about different things that I've read about the life of Charlie Poole and how he would just travel from town to town, not really knowing where they were going to go next, but play a while in this town and then move on to the next one and stay for several days and play at different places and go on to the next place. And he was definitely a rambler, Charlie Poole. And recorded for Columbia Records, and he was pretty much their top artist, I would say, in the late 1920s, along with Gid Tanner and the Skillet Lickers, who were also a big recording artists at that time. Boy, Columbia Records, I'm sure they don't have anything like that anymore. But let's do this. Let's play one more song, and then we'll take a break for the weather forecast. Will that be all right?
Yeah, it'll work. Got a little bit of music on the well, Frank and Johnny were sweethearts, well, they had for one day. Johnny by easy, well, said he'd go away, now coming home, away home. Frankie begged and pleaded, now come on down to please stay. But I know I've done you wrong, and reason go away, oh, Johnny cried. Frankie cried, oh, I'm going away, I'm going to stay, I'm coming home. Don't miss me, honey, in days to come, when we miss you, oh, don't miss me back, loving man. Don't miss me, honey, in days to come. Frankie said to Johnny, now hey man, y'all was gone. One day when they come on us, he drew a four-four gun. Love was bad, so hard was bad. Johnny fled down the stairway, now come on Frankie, don't shoot. Frankie with 44, 5 times with a blue to get Johnny fell. Frankie, yeah, oh I'm going away, I'm going to stay, I'm coming home. Gonna miss me, honey, in days to come, when the wind blows, gonna wish me back. Gonna miss me, honey, in days to come. Stranger up beside her says, the stranger up beside her. Little Johnny too brave, y'all, I shot him in the back when he went to run. Quick me gun, send full-time policeman to take me right away. Lock me down in the cell and throw back the old way, oh Johnny dead. Because they said, oh I'm going away, I'm going to stay, I'm coming home. Gonna miss me, honey, in the days to come, when the wind gets blue, cover blue, gonna wish me back, gonna miss me, honey, in the days to come. One more.
All right. I know one thing. You deserve an award for remembering all these words.
Well, that's good. I can remember the words of Charlie Poole songs, but I can't tell you what they right.
Well, okay. You know what? Music does something in your mind, and you can remember that when you can't remember anything else. That's the truth, sure enough. Kelly, give us an updated look at the weather forecast, and we'll be back with more music coming up on today's Saturday morning merry-go-round right after this.
Degrees our current temperature and partly cloudy skies.
Well, we're finally good now. They said, we had it backwards back here.
We're expecting partly sunny, high near 52 today, and the wind is lower. We're going to get gusts up to 38 miles per hour. Western winds, stay winds 16 to 18 miles per hour. Cloudy roll around 31 tonight. Gusts up to 21 miles per hour. Northwest wind 8 to 11. Sunny and a high near 53 tomorrow. Northwest wind 9 to 14 miles per hour. Gusting as high as 23 miles per hour. Clear tomorrow night and down to around 27. Sunny Monday and a high near 55. Hang on to Wednesday. Partly sunny, high near 74. Give me more spring. Hartley Sunday. Let's get back to the WPAQ merry-go-round. Here's Jenny.
Thank you so much, Kelly, and that's right, let's all hang on till Wednesday. Hang on to your hats out there. The wind is crazy. I had to take the flag in because I was afraid it was going to break the flagpole, but and then it just stops all of a sudden. That's how things are in the Granite City today, but we're having a great time here in the Earl Theater, home of the Old Time Music Heritage Hall. Got some great old time music for you in part one of today's program with the Twin County Ramblers. And after the 12 o'clock news and weather, we'll be back with another hour and a half of music from special guests, Hersey Macmillan and Bruce Mosley will be with us. So what you got picked out for us next?
Well, I think we're going to do one Kurt likes to do because it's complicated. A little bit of floppy and music. That's pretty good, Kirk. It's almost like you played that before. Let's see. Yeah, that'll work out a little bit. Well, let's play a little bit of What Is Home Without Babies.
Quiet.
Yeah.
I stole it.
All alone in a mansion with no one to love and caress. Sad man, noble and handsome, with no loving wife with regret. She married him for his position. No love was in her heart. Look around in his life. From his lips came these words. What is home without baby? To love and to keep you adored. What is home without sweet wife? look in the window and saw a picture so sweet. Husband and wife and baby, laughing and kissing too. Turned aside his tears to hide from his lips came these words. What is home without baby? To love and to tease you adore. What is home without sweet wife? To greet you each night by the door. What is home without sunshine? To spread its bright rays from above. You may have wealth and its pleasure. What is home without love? One more. Well, how about a little bit of Dixie Girl? Because I remember how it goes. Jenny got to bragging on me, I probably forgot it now. Well, once I was gypsy girl, now I'm rich and right. Servants to wait on me while in my carriage ride. While in my carriage ride, while in my carriage ride. Servants to wait on me while in my carriage ride. One day I was rolling down London Street, and some young squire was first I chanced to meet. He's my pretty brown cheek, which now he loves so well. Said, my little gypsy girl, will you my fortune tell? Yes, sir, kind sir, please hold me your hand. I've made fine mansions in many foreign lands. And all these fair young things are built on the side. Where I am a gypsy girl who is to be your bride. Took me, led me to a quiet country shore. Servants to wait on me and open my own door. Open my own door and open my own door. Servants to wait on me and open my own door.
I think you did a pretty good job.
Well, I got most of it, that's all counts.
Yeah, you're right.
Like horseshoes and hand grenades, most of it counts sometimes.
Well, let's, what do you think? Take a break now and come back and do the conclusion. We'll probably have time for 4 more songs. Will that be all right with y'all?
That'll work.
All right, so we'll send things back to you, Kelly, and hear a word about Myrtle Fest. That's coming up, I can't believe, already this year. And we'll be back with more music from the Twin County Ramblers right after this. so much. Kelly Epperson, appreciate you this Saturday morning. And we're having a great time here at the Merry-Go-Round. We do this each and every week, broadcast live from the stage of the Earl Theater, so folks have a chance to come and see music in person, as well as the folks here at the stage get to perform regional acts. Next week we'll have the Shelton Brothers along with Eddie Hill and the Gospel Travelers. They'll be our guests for next week's program. Right now we got probably about 12 minutes, so 3 or 4 songs, whatever y'all want to do. And I do want to challenge everybody that if you're just wandered in off the street today and wanted to check out the music here, go home and Google, or however you find out stuff, look in an encyclopedia if you're like me, or read it in a book, or go to the library. The Life of Charlie Poole, a fascinating story, and so I want to tell everybody to do that, please. And also got some messages I want to give to the group here. Jordan Nance is listening in, wanted me to tell Robert that he's really enjoying the music. He met y'all at the Charlie Poole Festival years ago, and so also Bobby Wayne Mandarin, he's listening in with Betty, and thanks for listening, watching on YouTube. So what you got picked out for us next?
Well, I think we're going to play something slow down on a little bit of There'll Come a Time. Let's do a little bit of Monkey on the String. Well, if I go singing, everybody else will laugh. So I'm funny looking when I do it. Most every year when springtime comes and birds begin to sing, I tell you, come around this town with a monkey on a string. Walking at he plays around the corner grocery store. Funny things that monkey does set me in a row. That's the time when the fun begins. Yeah! How that monkey hops and grins. Yeah! Some said it looked like Sally Smith. They like Deacon Brown. Well, by gosh, all day long, that thing won't went down. Yeah! Woo! Yeah! Some say every time we all were monks, they the other way. Monk was made mockery on great creation day. But a monk was made from an Irishman, and I would see the way. Monk was made pardon him, that's the time away. That's the time when the fun begins. Yeah! While that monkey hops and grins. Yeah! Some said it looked like Sally Smith. They like Deacon Brown. Like by gosh, hold it on, that thing won't win down. Yeah! Woo-hoo! Yeah! Well, I read, we got about time 2 more, but we better get this one in. This was the best seller that Charlie ever had. It sold, what, 105,000 copies? Don't let your deal go down. And it's good advice. When you come back. Well, I reckon I better tell who these people are up here. Maybe some reward. I need some gas money to get home on. Down on the end right there with the guitar is Mr. Jerry Fowl. Beside him is the probation officer we got, Virginia Purdy. Right here on the field beside me is William James. His real name's Jesse, but we try not to call him that because back here on the bass is Mr. Charles Atkins. And over here's my little brother Kurt. He was 6'8" Monday, but Dad had him toting logs out of the woods and they kind of squished him. Mr. Kurt Sutton. I'm trying to think. Have I done anything in Surrey County? Well, my name's Robert Stowe, and I'm up here, the one that's banging on his banjo, making a racket and caterwauling. I was going to bring a mule, but man, Daddy told me they couldn't stand but one donkey braying at a time, so. Well, let's get one more here, sir. Who's good? One more no good, we'll get there off on something. Yeah, we try a little bit of
Ramblers. I started to say the North Carolina Ramblers. I just so into the
Oh, that would be an infringement on the copyright.
I'd say it would be. But thank you so much. Don't anybody go anywhere. They've done a great job. Let's give them a big round of applause.
Thank y'all for listening to us.
And we'll be back right after the 12 o'clock news with another great hour and a half of music from our special guests, Hersey Macmillan, along with Bruce Mosley. So stay tuned for that. We'll be back with more music coming up on the Voice of the Blue Ridge. You're listening to the Saturday Morning Merry-Go-Round on WPAQ. Oh, is he?
Thank you. Thank you.
Y'all got all the eggs changed.
There, that's better. Yeah. Thank you. Good to see you again. Oh my gosh, I enjoyed it so much. So the 25th.
How about that?
Police say that Flint was on duty and we grew the firefighter.
Looking forward to seeing y'all again.
The other part of the
Hang on.
a blue passenger car drove into the parking lot of the They say some of the people in the vehicle did open fire.
Thank you so much. Now, don't have, if you're not living, don't call.
Well, I'm right working between each other.
Okay.
I don't have my house. I know where it's at.
Right. That's the number to call you at, okay?
Don't take that. You want to sit down?
Sit or stand, sit or stand. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Take care, okay?
Thank you, thank you. Appreciate it.
Good job, Holger. How have you been?
Arrested Thursday, charged with 2 counts of felony crime against nature. Blackman appeared before the magistrate and received a secured bond of $2,500. Blackman is currently being held in the Forsyth County Detention Center. The sheriff's office investigation continues, and deputies say that more charges are
Okay, are y'all ready?
You know what they call a backing player, Mayberry player?
Hey. How's it going? Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm not in the. I'm not in the. We can take this off.
Number 2?
should be fine. We'll try one song and it's not. And make it go
Does this need to be a little?
Thank you so much, Kelly Epperson, and welcome back. You're listening to the Saturday Morning Merry-Go-Round on the voice of the Blue Ridge, WPAQ, and we had a great time celebrating the life and music of Charlie Poole on the first hour of today's Merry-Go-Round with the Twin County Ramblers. And now it's my pleasure to welcome for part 2 of today's program. These are old friends, and they've performed on the Merry-Go-Round many, many times, but maybe not together. Is that?
Not as a duo.
Not as a duo, okay, not as a duo. But help me make welcome to the stage of the Earl Theater for part 2 of today's program, Hersey Macmillan and Bruce Mosley.
We're going to do a little song, it's a little medley that I worked up. I just call it Trains, and if you can't tell what they are, ask me after the show. Ready? You know, Johnny Cash wrote a song back years ago called "The Boy Named Sue," and it kind of fits my life a little bit. You ought to have been sent to Flat Rock Elementary School and named Hersey. Sue don't know squat. Where's our list? Well, okay, but in the meantime, while Jenny's doing that, we kind of came up here in a little bit of a hurry. And, okay. Oh, we got next one's in A. I could have done better than that.
Can y'all see us okay?
We can.
We'll try to hide that.
If you can't see with these lights, there's a problem. The problem is us not being able to see. So.
Once you see where all the traffic's coming from.
Or lack thereof. It's to you, Bruce. Have I told you lately? That one.
Okay, that's it.
Today, if I should lose, I know good without you anyhow. Have I told you lately that I love you? Well, darling, I'm telling you now. Today, if I should lose you, I'm no good without you anyhow. Have I told you lately that I love you? Well, darling, I'm telling you now. Yes, darling, I'm telling you
Y'all are the best audience we played for today.
Today, yes,
We're gonna do one for you. We'll play a little while, see if you can figure out what it's about. It's got a funny name. It's about an animal.
Miss Buffalo Gal.
There you go.
So it wasn't that bad. So,
Should have said it about animals and
yeah. I used to go to fiddlers conventions a lot, and I remember camping one time at Galax. I'd never met before in my life, Ralph Pennington. Here, this sweetheart guy, and he taught me this tune way back then. And I used to play it in a different chord, and then I heard Alan Mundy play it out of B flat. So you know they say copying somebody is the best form of flattery. He's my favorite banjo player, and this is one Alan did. If you want to hear it played right, you might buy a copy that he done. Okay, it's called A Sweet Bunch of Daisies.
Song a lot. Sweet Bunch of Daisies, right? And it has words. I'm not confusing it, am I?
Nope.
That's great. And she did it kind of slow, but I love to hear it like that. She played the banjo too, and she played a style kind of like what Robert was playing in the first hour, but she called it seconding on the banjo.
Seconding.
Like it was backing up somebody else. So.
I do third.
Oh yeah. Well, don't sell yourself short. You are a great musician, Hersey. Okay, I resemble that remark. But anyways, let's see. We need to, if you can, let's do one more and then we'll take a real quick break.
Oh, let's save that. Let's go with tuning the banjo.
tuning the banjo.
That's one of my favorite songs.
How about a little bit of the Rocky Mountain Breakdown?
play the guitar. He's such a fine guitar picker, and it's been a while since y'all have been on the program. Let's see. Let's send things back to Kelly for a real quick break, and we'll be back with more music coming up from our special guest, part 2 of today's program, Bruce Mosley and Hersey McMillan. We'll be back right after this. This time, unless they're really short, it'd be 2 for weather. Trapper by
WPAQ down here. Let's go back down to the WPAQ merry-go-round at your old theater here in Virginia.
Thank you so much, Kelly. Appreciate you, and I will pass that message along here during our next break for the weather. Right now, if you're just tuning in or just joining us, you're listening to the Saturday Morning Merry-Go-Round. This program broadcasts live over WPAQ for over 70 years. And it's my pleasure to welcome back to the stage our great friends of the station and doing a great job, Hersey McMillan and Bruce Mosley. Let's welcome them back.
Well, the warden led a prisoner down the hallway past my cell. I stood up to say goodbye like all the rest, and I heard him tell the warden just before he reached my cell, let his guitar sing the song for my request. Won't you sing me back home the song I used to hear? Make my old memories come alive. Take me away and turn back to years. Sing me back home before I die. I recall last Sunday morning when a choir from off the street came in to sing a few old gospel songs, and I heard him tell the singers there's a song my mama sang. Could I hear it before we move along? Won't you sing me back home the song I used to hear? Make my old memories come alive. Take me away and turn back the years. Sing me back home before I die. Yes, sing me back home before I die.
Oh, let's see, with her G. Let's do a little bit of the Foggy Mountain Stomp. Three.
Mosley. Kelly will send things back to you for an updated look at the weather forecast, and we'll be back with more music coming up on the Saturday morning merry-go-round right after this.
That'd be a time.
I bet you can do it. There's a reason why he's asking.
Really?
Kelly's Kelly, yeah.
Yeah, we'll come.
I like this Driving Five. His song, have you heard it, Marty? Marty made a record.
Yeah.
And he has, I think it's an original when he wrote it. I think it's called Driving Five. It's good.
I heard a cut, and they said it was Marty afterwards. Now, really wasn't paying close attention, but it was good band.
And so if you can't do much of it, you can do like really good.
Okay.
Can you
Yeah.
do it, Bruce?
I'll start.
I can say something before, is that okay?
Yes.
Does anybody need a water? I'll go back there and get one.
I'm good right now.
This is what happens when you're talking and when you're supposed to be talking and you're not listening. So anyways, if you're just tuning in or just joining us, we had a request, and the reason for the request, I looked this up while we went to break. Eric Weisberg, in addition to this being Charlie Poole's birthday week, Eric Weisberg, who nobody's going to recognize who that is, but he passed away this week, I believe not this year, but in 2020. And Eric Weisberg went to #2 on the Billboard charts in the U.S. and Canada for dueling banjos. Okay? And so, of course, some folks, we still play it on WSYD and WPAQ occasionally. Folks associate that with Deliverance. Not me so much, because I've never seen the movie Deliverance. My own personal choice. So, because I love the people of Appalachia, and I don't know that it really portrayed us in a good light or not. But anyways, definitely had something to do with the folk revival for sure. And so we had a request for this to see if y'all would want to do a little bit of dueling banjos.
Maybe we can pull a verse or two.
Okay, all right. I bet you got it
I
in you.
forgot most of the words.
think there is unrehearsed. But I know when you're in the spotlight, maybe not so much. That was great, and let's see, we can do a couple more and take a break. And also, Kelly Epperson said thank you so much, and that was he who was requesting that song. He really appreciated y'all doing it.
I'll settle that with him later.
Okay. Okay.
Huh? Yeah, we haven't done a gospel song yet.
No, not
Boy,
yet.
Bruce and me do a lot of gospel music. But,
Yeah.
it's come down to Asbury Presbyterian, you get to hear banjo sometimes instead of piano.
Oh.
Anyway, a little thing we worked with that's called it's an old song, and blues in it. Anyway, it's Leadeth Me. Yeah, we can do that too. That's another gospel song.
Yeah, another gospel song. I never get tired of gospel songs. I'll send this out to.
Love who they wrote about it, too.
Yeah, yes, sir, I do. My wife's listening, and Miss Faye Bowman's listening with her. They're listening together this morning.
I bet William and Judy's down there in Asbury listening.
I bet they are too. So this is especially for y'all when we all get to heaven.
rainy day? Glad you're back.
Thank you all for staying. I can understand why you'd want to leave.
Thanks for the lack of fruit and vegetables, too.
Oh, no. I drink all that water, then I'm going to have to take a bathroom break.
Yes, there's your bread, there's your meal, that ain't nothing but pure corn. Okay. Uncloudy day.
Yeah.
Here on part 2 of today's Saturday morning merry-go-round. We'll take a quick break and hear a word from our sponsor of this portion of today's program. That's Old Mill Music right up the street here in downtown Mount Airy. And we'll be back with more music coming up right after this. I haven't got to hear you play in so long. I mean, it's probably been 5 years since you were here with your wife and some of the kids that y'all were teaching. I feel like that was who was here last week.
Jam session.
I can't remember who it was. I just remember being kids. But that's been a long time ago. Okay.
What you want to do, sir? We done farther along.
Until 1 o'clock before we need to take another break, or we can take a break if we need to. Probably 4 so. Thank you so much, Kelly Epperson, and I appreciate you once again this Saturday. And I enjoy hearing you on the air always, and a lot of folks do as well. I know they comment about it on our Facebook page. Glad to hear Kelly on the air. Also, let's see, who else has messaged me that they were listening? Marty Haynes, he said he's listening in, and I'm sure y'all got some women folk that's listening in as well, or maybe they're out shopping. We don't know. All of them. Okay. Okay. Well, we'll just keep that to ourselves. Although now all the world knows it. Let's do about 3 or 4 more songs before we take a break at the top of the hour.
Well, we worked this one up, and it might be a little rough, but it's a song I love. Got a sweet message, another hymn called Farther Along.
Tempted and tried, we're off made to wander. Why it should be thus all day long, while there are others living about us, ever molested, going wrong. Farther along, we'll know all about it. Farther along, we'll understand why. Cheer up, my brother, live in the sunshine. We'll understand it all by and by. When we see Jesus coming in glory, when he comes from his home in the sky, then will we meet him in that bright city. Oh, my, my. Farther along, we'll know all about it. Farther along, we'll understand why. Cheer up, my brother, live in the sunshine. We'll understand it all by and by. Yes, we'll understand it all by and by. Did I choke there? Thank you all for coming.
Some of these we got to do again, Bruce.
Nah.
Well, you can.
But up to 1 o'clock. Let's see. Let's put on some road blues. Why not? Okay. o'clock yet. Come on.
It's not. And you know what? We got to play till 1:29.
Oh, yeah?
Why don't we do this? Let's talk a little bit, because someone sent me a picture of an old record, and it had your dad on the front of it. So would it have been the Easter Brothers?
Sure would.
Okay. So why don't we right now? These are old friends of our station. So Hersey, tell folks how you got started in music.
Oh, woo, that goes back a ways.
Not quite 100 years, right?
Yeah. Both grandpas were musicians and played fiddles and banjos. And oddly enough, I never met them. They both died before I was born.
Oh, wow.
But Dad played. And I was being a kid back in those days, in the late 50s and early 60s, there was a lot of idle time. And Daddy went, bought a little mandolin for me, taught me the chords on that, and I was hooked. So he and I, down through the years, passed a lot of time sitting out on the porch picking mama. She runs out of the house. It's my brag. But passed a lot of time on the front porch at moms. And we formed our own. We had a little gospel group, Mom, Dad, and me, Millen family. And then later on, not long after that, Dad joined the Easter Brothers. And this is back early 60s. They did an album, their first LP, with Carlton Payne. He produced it. But their first LP, Dad was the banjo player. They had special guests, Mac McGahey and Waverly Johnson. There was whole that's pretty picture on the album. But like I said, and then through that I got hooked even more because, you know, Russell Jr., he was a kid too. He was a hot dobro player, and Roger, everybody sang. So I got into it there. Took off and went my own path and everything, and so here I am.
Well, you're doing a great job. Give us another song, and then we'll listen to a little bit more about how Bruce got started in music. What about that?
Lady of Spain. Okay. Yes, pretty good. I think I might leave that middle part out. Maybe sound brave like it. Lady of Spain. Let's see.
When you said Russell Jr., made me think about, I've always thought that he is one of the best musicians to ever come from the town of Mount Airy or these parts, and what a talented person. And to hear him play the banjo, the pedal steel, the dobro, and every one of them just as good as the other. And he listens sometimes. You know, he was on the merry-go-round one time last year with a friend, and so he listens. He tells me he listens, so maybe he's listening in right now. And let's ask Bruce. Bruce, how did you get started in music?
Well, my oldest brother had a guitar, but he was married, so
I didn't get to be around him, but one of my other brothers, he had an old Martin guitar, but beat all the pieces, a D18.
Is that it?
No, that's not it. But, and he had a job, so he'd go off to work, and that guitar lay there. He didn't even have a case for it. But that guitar just lay there, and he'd draw me to it. And so I learned a few chords, and but whenever I got to be about 14 or 15, I got to play and got real interested. My mother and daddy went and bought me a electric guitar.
Uh-oh.
They were there one here. My parents didn't play.
Y'all had electricity?
Yeah. We had electricity on 3 days out of the week. So you just, you try to play on the days we had electricity. If you want to hear what you're doing. But anyhow, and I got, once they got me a guitar, I got serious about playing it.
You had some time with the Hall twins.
Yeah, the Hall twins. I met Saferd Hall down in Thomasville, North Carolina. He lived down there for a while. And I went to a square dance one night. He was there playing. I went there to learn how to square dance.
Ended up being a musician.
And they recognized me, and they said, "Come on up here. We got an extra guitar." So I wound up beating the strings off that man's guitar that night. And old Saferd come over, and he said, "Where you from?" So I fell in love with Saferd Hall. He's a great musician, and his twin brother, Clay. So that's one reason why I moved off to this part of the country. That's where they were from, Patrick County. I got to play with them several years on, and Bill Smith and Johnny Ripperman. Just a whole drove of us went along. My wife was with us playing, and she wound up playing the bass with us. So anyhow, that's how I wound up in this part of the country. We came here lots of times and played. All twins had a big following.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they were extremely accomplished musicians, and a lot. If you notice, Bruce's guitar playing, he plays a lot of Western style, which I love his accompaniment with the Western swing style chords, and it's has a little more richness when you're sitting in close. I don't know how it's going out front, but
it sounded good. It sounded good.
And he's a master at it. A lot of times, I don't know why I forgot my fiddle. Y'all looked out on that one. But we'll play some.
Judy, bring his fiddle down.
Uh-oh.
Don't tell her to do that. She'll make it up here, then.
She may be out shopping. Go ahead and do like one more, and then we'll take a break.
Well, let's see what we got to pick from there. We ain't done John Henry yet, have we?
No, we have not.
Okay. One thing that eludes me in older age is speed. This is a fast song to Bruce. Be merciful. Ready? For our top of the hour look at things, and we'll be back with more music coming up here on the Saturday Morning Merry-Go-Round, the second portion featuring Hersey McMillan along with Bruce Mosley, and we'll be back right after this.
Have a good day, everyone.
Hey,
Thank you so much. I also want to send a well wishes out to David. He's listening in. He always likes to enjoy the program and just told me how much he was enjoying the group today. And what you got picked out for us next, Hersey?
Well, we had a request there for grandfather's clock, was it? And, or something else, and I chose grandfather's clock. This is, again, is unrehearsed. A little bit loose. Ready?
No, it's not the first time I've ever heard that song. I will
Just say today.
have you know that I know a lot about grandfather clocks, and I have one, and I have also heard the song before many times. And I work at a radio station. Y'all didn't know that, did you? No, I really don't have any. I'm so lucky to be where I am, and I really enjoy it. So I do want to tell the folks about Mayberry Music Center here in just a short while. So if you could, let's do one more song and then we'll take a quick break.
How will it be, Bruce? Well, it's shortening bread.
mighty fine here. From the stage of the Earl Theater, a great program today featuring Hersey McMillan and Bruce Mosley doing a great job. And we were talking about the Easter Brothers earlier on, and I wanted to make mention of this. Our sponsor for this portion of today's program is Mayberry Music Center. Of course, they're located right across the street from the Earl Theater and locally owned and operated by the Easter family. Of course, James has passed away, but his daughter and his wife are continuing on with that business. And so we would like to invite you to stop in and check out their selection of acoustic, also electric guitars, bass guitars, mandolins, fiddles, banjos, trumpets, saxophones, clarinets, flutes, and much, much more. Mayberry Music Center specializes in Blue Ridge guitars, and they're the authorized Blue Ridge guitar dealer here in the Mount Airy area. They always offer a $100 discount off the suggested retail price of their Blue Ridge guitars. And you'll usually find there some slightly used Blue Ridge guitars at a discounted price. They've got all types of strings and accessories for your instrument, and they offer music lessons as well as instrument repair. And if you don't see what you're looking for when you stop by, please ask them, because chances are they can have it for you in just a couple of days. And you'll also find a great selection of bluegrass and bluegrass gospel CDs, including titles from the Easter Brothers as well as the Primitive Quartet. Mayberry Music Center is open Monday through Friday from 9:30 to 4, and on Saturdays they're open from 9:30 to 3. They're always closed on Sunday. That is Mayberry Music Center sponsoring this portion of today's Saturday morning merry-go-round. And also I want to make sure you folks remember to check out the lovely Easter Brothers mural that we have now. If you go out of the theater, make a left, and it's right in the area where the public restrooms are located. And they do plan to have an event to recognize James in the month of May to rededicate that mural. So stay tuned for more information on that. And right now, back to more music from our special guests, Bruce Mosley and Hersey McMillan. What y'all got picked up for us next?
We're going to do another gospel song. You mentioned the Primitive Quartet. Reagan Riddle wrote this song. It's called God Has Been So Good to Me. I'm going to try to do I've always had a place to sleep, clothes to wear and food to eat. God has been so good to me. All I had He took away, then I still would have to say, God has been so good to me. God has been so good to me, and I'm thankful for a fine family. The little church that I attend, and for all my Christian friends. God has been so good to me. Thank God I live where men are free, where there's love and liberty. God has been so good to me. If all I had He took away, then I still would have to say, God has been so good to me. God has been so good to me, and I'm thankful for a fine family. The little church that I attend, and for all my Christian friends. God has been so good to me. The little church that I attend, and for all my Christian friends. God has been so good to me. talk with you.
Okay.
We don't sing, we'll spare you the singing on this one. Old Hersey can play that. Listen to that banjo say, now let us have a little talk with you. I love to hear him play this thing.
The Cherokee Shuffle.
Yeah. Do that A there. We thank you folks for being here. We have punished your ears but you stayed right in there. I'll say one thing, y'all are faithful. Even Jenny stayed. 2 or 3 times I seen her going toward the door. I thought, oh, she can't stand it. She's going home.
Thank you again for the lack of fruit and vegetables.
They're not expensive now.
That's right. The Cherokee Shuffle. Let's see. let's see.
We got one more practice on you.
Let me see what we got. Looking at the list here.
Let's do that fourth song, Old Ghost Riders.
That's another retune.
Yeah. While he's tuning up. We decided on this to do it 3 times. We decided to do it, then we decided not to do it.
Maybe we should.
No, I think
Well,
we should.
there you go. We've been voted out.
Outvoted. Same thing.
You understand, I bought it and it was in tune.
Well, you know, every once in a while you still got to tune them. It's the wind.
What the hell you got me out here?
It's catchy. Put a mask on that thing.
It's called COVID tuning.
Ready?
Yes, sir. Farmer went out one dark and dreary day. He stopped beside the coop as he went along his way. When all at once a rotten egg hit him in the eye, it was a sight he dreaded. Ghost chickens in the sky. The farmer had raised chickens since he was 24. He'd been working for the colonel some 30 years or more, raising all those chickens, then sending them to fry, and now they want revenge. Ghost chickens in the sky. Their beaks were black and shiny, and their eyes were raising red. They had no meat nor feathers, these chickens all were dead. They picked the farmer up, and he died by the claw. They cooked him extra crispy, and ate him with cold salt. Yippee-yi-yi, yippee-yi-oh, ghost riders in the sky, ghost chickens in the sky.
You know, that's kind of a Vaughn Monroe, way back in the big band era, is who put out, I guess, Ghost Riders in the Sky.
Leroy Troy.
Oh my goodness, yes, Leroy Troy. He did a number on it with the Ghost Chickens. Let's take one final break, if that's all right with y'all, and we'll come back. Probably have time for a couple more tunes. So, Kelly, tell us about Born in the Mountain coming up after Joe Bazaar's Early Country Classics. I think that's coming up later on this afternoon. And we'll be back with the conclusion of today's Saturday morning merry-go-round right after this.
It's a trip. We do this a lot, but like I said, there's not the momentum that we play with. But we can talk 5 minutes and play some more together.
I think it's been great.
Let's get back to the WPAQ merry-go-round and just look good at that program. Earl Theater in downtown area here.
Thank you so much, Kelly Epperson. And once again, I want to, excuse me, remind folks to tune in again next week when we will have another great merry-go-round program. We'll be in the month of April. I can't believe that. 2 great groups. The Shelton Brothers will be joining us from over around Horse Pasture, Virginia, and then Eddie Hill and the Gospel Travelers. They are from down around Denton area, and they'll be joining us for the April 2nd program. And right now, back to our special guests, Bruce Mosley and Hersey McMillan, for the conclusion of today's merry-go-round. Probably got time for 2 more.
Okay. Another one of my heroes' songs here. Alan played this, and like I said, if you want to hear it played right, go buy his version of it. And let's do it called the Four-Leaf Clover. Since we're headed there, why don't we do just a little bit of Home Sweet Home?
Go ahead. Can I sing one?
You sure can.
All right, here we go. Did you ever wake up in the middle of the night singing home, home sweet home, pinning diapers on a baby without any light? There's no place like home. There's no place like home. No place like home. Be it ever so long, there's no place like home.
great way to end today's program. Thank you again so much to our special guests, Percy McMillan and Bruce Mosley. We hope to have y'all on the program again real soon. And also thanks again to the Twin County Ramblers helping us to celebrate the life and music of the late Charlie Poole. Well, until next time, this is Jeannie Lowry saying so long from the Earl Theater.